Across the vast lands stretching from chilly mountain peaks to sun-baked deserts, the mighty Persian Empire rose like a shimmering tapestry of power, courage, and ambition. Travelers approaching its great capitals felt a sense of awe long before they reached the city gates, hearing tales of golden palaces, fearless warriors, and kings who dreamed on a scale as wide as the horizon itself. Children walking beside their families gazed in amazement at towering walls decorated with colorful tiles that glowed beneath the brilliant sun, as if the buildings themselves whispered stories of ancient glory. At the heart of Persia's strength were kings known as the Great Kings, rulers who guided their empire with confidence and pride. These monarchs believed they were chosen by the heavens to bring order to the world, and their palaces reflected this belief with grand halls supported by tall pillars carved with lions, bulls, and mythical beasts. Courtiers in flowing robes hurried across polished stone floors, carrying messages from distant corners of the empire. Even young scribes, still learning their letters, felt the weight of responsibility as they recorded the deeds of kings whose names would echo through time. Persian kings did not rule alone. They relied on a network of loyal governors called satraps, each responsible for a region filled with farmers, merchants, soldiers, and artisans. These satraps traveled in splendid caravans, accompanied by guards wearing decorated helmets that glinted like mirrors in the sunlight. People along the roads often paused to watch them pass, whispering about important orders, distant uprisings, or new laws that would shape their daily lives. Children peeked from behind market stalls, hoping to glimpse a regal banner fluttering in the wind. No description of Persia was complete without the famed immortals, an elite army of warriors whose bravery and discipline were legendary across continents. Clad in shining armor, carrying long spears and round shields painted with fierce designs, these soldiers marched with perfect rhythm, creating a steady thunder of footsteps that sent shivers down the spines of onlookers. Stories claimed that whenever an immortal fell in battle, another instantly stepped forward, making it seem as though their number never diminished. Children who watched them train dreamed of one day joining their ranks and proving their courage. Training fields near the royal cities were always alive with the sound of clashing weapons and the shouts of instructors. Young warriors practiced archery on horseback, guiding their steeds across dusty grounds while firing arrows with astonishing precision. Others drilled with spears, learning how to form tight formations that moved like a single powerful creature. Even newcomers, nervous, wide-eyed, and eager, felt the excitement of mastering skills that had defined Persian strength for generations. Families often gathered at the edges of these fields, cheering for their loved ones as they worked tirelessly to join the empire's elite. Persian cities bustled with life, blending cultures from across the empire's vast territory. Markets brimmed with fragrant spices, embroidered rugs, shining metals, rare gems, and colorful pottery that reflected the rich traditions of distant lands. Merchants dressed in loose tunics haggled cheerfully with travelers, offering teas flavored with cardamom or roasted nuts coated in sweet syrups. Musicians sat beneath shaded archways playing gentle melodies on harps and flutes while children chased each other between stalls, laughing as they dodged baskets of fruit and busy shoppers. Royal roads connected the empire like veins of stone stretching across mountains, valleys, and deserts. Messengers on swift horses sped along these carefully built paths, delivering news with remarkable speed. Inns stood at regular intervals, offering warm meals, water for tired horses, and safe places to rest. Families traveling these routes marveled at the efficient system that allowed Persia to stay strong and united, despite covering lands so wide that journeys could take weeks or even months. Children often collected small souvenirs-colored stones, woven bands, carved trinkets, each a reminder of the world's vastness. Among Persia's most stunning achievements was the city of Persepolis, a magnificent center of celebration and ceremony. Its grand stairways stretched wide enough for entire processions of nobles, musicians, and foreign ambassadors to climb side by side. Carvings along the walls depicted people from every part of the empire bringing gifts, horses, fabrics, gold vessels, and treasured animals to honor the great king. Visitors felt humbled standing beneath colossal stone beasts guarding the entrances, imagining how many celebrations, feasts, and royal gatherings had unfolded inside. Festivals brought the empire to life with dazzling color and joy. During the New Year celebration known as Nowruz, families swept their homes clean, decorated their tables with flowers and shining lanterns, and prepared dishes made from herbs, eggs, nuts, and sweet pastries. Children wore new clothes and ran outside to play, their laughter mixing with the music echoing from city squares. Priests lit sacred fires symbolizing renewal and hope, while storytellers shared tales of ancient heroes, wise kings, and the eternal fight between light and darkness. Despite the empire's vastness, the Persians valued fairness and respect. Kings issued laws to protect farmers, merchants, and travelers, ensuring that people from different cultures and languages could live side by side in harmony. Judges traveled from town to town, listening to disputes with calm focus, while teachers guided young students through lessons in languages, mathematics, and history. Families gathered at night around warm lamps, discussing the events of the day and telling stories that celebrated courage, kindness, and justice. Across the empire, ordinary life flourished amid the grandeur. Farmers tended fields of barley and wheat, coaxing the earth to yield food for countless communities. Craftsmen carved intricate jewelry, shaped smooth clay pots, and hammered metal into beautiful designs. Shepherds guided their flocks across rolling hills, singing to pass the time as the sky shifted from brilliant blue to soft shades of evening. Children played with wooden toys, practiced riding small ponies, and learned dances passed down through generations, their joy adding warmth to everyday life. The people of Persia understood that strength came not only from powerful armies, but also from unity, generosity, and wisdom. Kings relied on the loyalty of their people, warriors protected every corner of the empire, and families instilled values that strengthened communities. Together, they created a civilization that glowed with vitality, imagination, and ambition, influencing lands far beyond their borders. As travelers continued their journeys, they carried stories of Persia with them, tales of kings who dreamed of connecting worlds, warriors who marched like legends, and people whose kindness matched their courage. Long after they departed its shimmering cities and peaceful villages, the memory of Persia's splendor stayed bright in their minds, reminding them that great empires are built not only with stone and steel, but with hope, honor, and the hearts of countless people working together. As the sun drifted lower across the endless Persian sky, the empire's great cities continued to pulse with life, each one a brilliant reminder of the power that stretched from the mountains of Anatolia to the shores of the Indian Ocean. Travelers entering the royal roads at dusk were welcomed by the warm glow of lanterns hanging from carved wooden posts, lighting their path as merchants, soldiers, and storytellers settled into roadside inns built by the king's command to keep the empire connected. Children marveled at the neat paving stones beneath their feet, whispering about how the mighty King Darius himself ordered these grand highways to help messages fly across the land at incredible speed. Deep within the royal capital of Persepolis, grand halls shimmered with colors that seemed to shift like flames in the evening light. Tall stone columns decorated with bulls, lions, and mythical creatures cast long shadows on the polished floors where courtiers, scribes, and ambassadors from distant kingdoms gathered to present their offerings. Young visitors gazed up in awe at the vibrant reliefs lining the walls, rows of carved warriors, musicians, and nobles, each captured in stunning detail as if ready to step forward and tell their stories. The heart of Persian power lay in the hands of the great king, who was believed to rule by divine favor. Each morning, as rays of sunlight spilled across the palace courtyards, the king emerged in resplendent robes woven with gold thread, surrounded by guards known as the Immortals. These elite warriors, dressed in shining armor and carrying spears tipped with razor-sharp iron, moved with a calm, steady grace that made onlookers feel both safe and slightly breathless. Children whispered legends about them, imagining what it might feel like to march in perfect formation as drums thundered across the palace grounds. Life in the empire was a colorful blend of languages, cultures, and traditions. Travelers from Egypt, Babylon, Lydia, and distant Indian kingdoms arrived with goods and stories, filling markets with treasures unlike anything children had seen before: lapis lazuli jewelry that glittered like pieces of the night sky, carved ivory boxes decorated with dancing animals, and embroidered fabrics that sparkled with tiny mirrored beads. Musicians from different lands performed lively pieces on flutes and drums, turning the bustling marketplace into a celebration of diversity and discovery. Festivals honoring Ahura Mazda, the supreme god of truth and light, brought whole communities together. Priests lit bright fires on raised stone platforms, the flames flickering and swirling as if they carried whispers from the heavens. Families approached the sacred fire with respectful silence, offering clean water, fragrant herbs, and sweet cakes baked with honey and walnuts. Children closed their eyes as warm heat brushed their faces, imagining themselves surrounded by the protective glow of divine light. Beyond the bustling cities, the Persian countryside was alive with the sounds of daily life. Farmers guided oxen through golden fields, carving long, neat rows into the soil as flocks of birds circled overhead. Shepherds led their animals across rolling hills, while artisans shaped clay into sturdy vessels that would later be painted with swirling patterns. At night, villages glowed softly with firelight as families gathered outside their homes, sharing meals cooked with fragrant spices, and telling stories about heroic warriors, daring battles, and clever queens who shaped the empire's destiny. On the empire's vast frontiers, warriors practiced tirelessly to protect their land. Archers trained by firing arrows with such incredible precision that children stood open-mouthed, wondering how anyone could shoot so quickly and so true. Cavalry units drilled alongside them, their horses snorting and pawing at the ground as riders leaned low in the saddle, practicing sweeping turns and sharp charges. Dust rose around them like small sandstorms, swirling in the air as the soldiers shouted commands and cheers echoed across the barracks. Persian engineering amazed visitors from every land. Massive irrigation canals carried water across long distances, turning dry plains into lush gardens filled with pomegranate trees, grapevines, and rows of colorful blossoms. Stone bridges arched gracefully over rivers, allowing caravans of camels and donkeys to travel smoothly from one end of the empire to the other. Children often followed the canals on hot afternoons, splashing their hands in the cool water as they wondered how such enormous systems were built with simple tools and incredible determination. Everywhere one traveled, stories of ancient kings and heroic victories filled the air. People spoke proudly of Cyrus the Great, the wise founder of the empire, who was known for his fairness and his respect for different cultures. They sang ballads of daring battles, peaceful alliances, and courageous deeds that shaped the Persian identity. Children listened wide-eyed, imagining themselves standing beside legendary warriors on windswept plains, their hearts swelling with admiration and excitement. As night settled across the empire, thousands of tiny oil lamps flickered to life, illuminating streets, balconies, and palace courtyards with soft golden light. The stars above seemed to shimmer more brightly over Persia, forming patterns that inspired astronomers, poets, and dreamers alike. Families gathered to share their thoughts about the day, trading stories and songs until the air filled with warmth and laughter. Children drifted to sleep beneath the glow of their lamps, imagining themselves wandering through grand halls, riding swift horses, and exploring distant lands connected by the king's mighty roads. And so the Persian Empire continued to thrive in an extraordinary world shaped by powerful kings, fearless warriors, skilled builders, and a tapestry of cultures woven together across wide and wondrous lands. Through its cities and countryside, its festivals and stories, it left an enduring legacy of unity, strength, and imagination for all who journeyed through its radiant realm.